I've said for months now, many moons, that Andrew Tate is one of the most entertaining clowns the internet has to offer. But today, the circus finally closed. Andrew Tate and that zit that has latched himself on to Andrew Tate like a leech, Tristan, his brother, have both been arrested on human trafficking charges. The clip of Tate being escorted to the police vehicle instantly went viral, and I really love how the officers are dressed in this video because it looks like they're ready to fight the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, but then it's just this goofy goober Andrew Tate. Now, this isn't Tate's first rodeo with human trafficking charges, but last time he just blamed it on swatting, calling it all just fake and a hoax, and all the meat riders that attached themselves to Andrew Tate's butthole like a hemorrhoid, of course, wrote this off as corruption and a bunch of baloney. But now it's happening again, and this one seems a lot harder to just dismiss. But you know what they say, fool me once, shame on me. Fool me twice, well then you're just breaking out of the matrix, am I right, hustlers? The Hustlers University is what Andrew Tate is most famous for. You pay $50 a month for a Discord server, which is the most pathetic thing on the planet, and I think adds to the comedy of Andrew Tate and all of his fans. And in that godforsaken Discord server, it acts as like Alcoholics Anonymous, where people just hype each other up and tell each other their problems with not getting laid or not being financially stable, while getting lectures from people that aren't even Andrew Tate on the most basic stuff imaginable. They hype themselves up as top G alpha males, but they're pissing away $50 a month to learn basic drop shipping techniques and how to do push-ups. I'm gonna let all of you in on a secret. Even the people that are very successful that like Andrew Tate are not stupid enough to be paying $50 a month for advice you can find on WikiHow. It is so embarrassing. It's a scam, and you're not in on it. You're the victim, and yet you're so brainwashed you continue to swallow his whole meat for it with a smile on your face. He is preying on insecure men, and he is doing everything he can to keep you a virgin. When you're a virgin, you're a Hustlers University student. When you're a virgin, you're an Andrew Tate supporter because he's feeding you things you want to hear and you're taking it as, telling it like it is. Meanwhile, you're unhappy and still not getting laid. And he's also giving you bad financial advice because when you're making money, you'll learn that everything he's saying is fucking worthless. So he needs to keep you just broke enough to afford the $50 a month that you're wasting on his awful techniques and awful advice. Andrew Tate's entire business and career relies on you being insecure and financially unstable. So obviously he doesn't actually want you to succeed. You're just paying money for hopium. Snap out of it. You leaving Hustlers University is you leaving the Matrix, goddammit. Just think about all the money you'll save not paying for that shit. You could afford a gym membership. Then you could access free information for workouts online that'll actually give you results. You can get big and strong like me. This is very long-winded. I'm sorry, I got sidetracked because we're talking about Andrew Tate and it's such a wacky situation. I couldn't help but throw all this in here. But yeah, Andrew Tate, Tristan Tate, they've been arrested on human trafficking charges following an investigation that's been ongoing for quite some time. And the way that they actually apprehended him is extremely silly. It all ties back to a Twitter argument he had with a teenage girl. I'm sure you've all seen it. It was very public. He made this statement to Greta Thunberg about the emissions and his supercars and all that. And then she responded with a dunk on him that went viral. It's one of the top 25 most liked posts on all of Twitter right now. It's got about 3 million likes and counting, basically just saying he has small dick energy in response to what he said to her. And this sent him into meltdown mode. He very clearly got a bit hurt by this response, and one of his immediate tweets after this was talking about having sex with her, where some fucking lunatic on there is like, Andrew Tate and Greta need to fuck already. And he just responded saying she isn't ready, which is super creepy and weird, just actual degenerate shit here. And when I first read this, I thought this was just full mask-off pedophilia. I didn't realize Greta Thunberg was 19. I thought she was still like 16 or something. So when I read this conversation, I thought they were just openly talking about fucking kids. Like, I had lost my marbles for a second. I had to Google to make sure that these weren't just two people admitting to being pedophiles. But yeah, it turns out that she is 19, but that doesn't make it any less awful to say shit like this. But all of this stress of being dunked on in such a big way was clearly very taxing on the smooth brain of Tate. So he then made a response video. And it's a very cringe response video. I actually think they should have slapped on an additional charge for cringe. He should have been hit with human trafficking and overwhelming plus ultra fucking turbo cringe, because this response video was abominable. Anyway, he made this video, posted it out there, big smile on his face, super excited. I'm gonna get the last laugh. You don't dunk on me. I come in here and I fucking dunk on you. But then, a new slam and jammer entered into the equation. The Romanian authorities. You see, in this video, he made a mistake. He included a pizza box from a Romanian pizza place, which let the authorities know that he was still in the country. So, after realizing that, they tracked him down and arrested him today. The authorities gathered all the evidence they needed, and because Andrew Tate couldn't fight the urge to publicly argue with a teenage girl on Twitter, they got him and his brother. It's almost poetic in a sense. He got finally taken down because he just absolutely couldn't fight his own ego. It's a guy who gets a lot of credit for being smart despite being an absolute fucking buffoon. Like a legitimate goddamn troglodyte. He made this emotionally charged, absolutely pathetic response video to try and look cool once again for his audience, and in doing so, he led the authorities right to him and his brother, who had been, I guess, evading them for quite some time. Pretty wild situation, honestly. He begged, he whined, cried, threw a tantrum, demanding he get his Twitter account back, and that ended up being the thing that put the final nail in his coffin here, it seems. Now, of course, we'll have to wait and see what happens with the charges and where this goes from here, but I think it's a little hard to explain away 2 instances of human trafficking with Andrew Tate here and raids on his property. That's not just a common occurrence. That's not something that just happens like a whoops-a-daisy. I guess it wasn't human trafficking. We made a mistake here. We got wires crossed. He's actually completely innocent. That's not something super normal. Of course, mistakes do happen when it comes to law enforcement, but human trafficking is one that doesn't pop up all that often. And I know a lot of people like to say it's just because Andrew Tate was so powerful and telling it like it is. He was revealing the truth and breaking out of the matrix. What the fuck are you talking about, you goddamn idiot? All he was saying is like, oh, you need to treat women this way, and they're gonna treat you this way, and you'll get pussy this way. And you need to do this kind of drop shipping in order to make this kind of money. Like, that's not exactly something that the government's gonna have a huge issue with. Him feeding you bad information on getting pussy, and bad information on making money. Like, he's not revealing any kind of crazy secrets that the government would try and come after him for. He's just an internet asshole. He's just a troll who found a way to milk money out of insecure dudes. That's not something that the big eye in the sky, you know, the man behind the curtain's gonna come after him for to silence him with false charges. This isn't some giant espionage movie. It's all pretty simple to follow stuff. Like, if you stop to think about it for a couple of seconds, it just doesn't make any sense why they would come after him if there's no real charges or any, like, real stuff, shady stuff going on. But yeah, the human trafficking charges are extremely concerning now. It's some very serious shit, and I've already seen some extremely hard cope from Andrew Tate's fans saying that human trafficking's not even a big deal anyway. Like, it's blown way out of proportion, or, you know, it's not a real issue, which is super alarming to read. Like, goddamn, to think human trafficking's not a big deal is mind-blowing. Very brain-dead stuff. But again, we'll have to wait and see what happens now going forward since he's been arrested. We'll see what comes from it, but I still find it to be a wacky situation, and, you know, it's a little odd that it's happened twice now. So, yeah, pretty crazy stuff that I thought was important to talk about, and that's about it. So, yeah. What if I told you I had irrefutable proof of aliens not only existing, but being extremely hot and horny? I think we could all agree that would be good news. But you know what's even better than good news? Great news. Which is why I want each and every one of you to check your pockets right now. If even a single one of you did that, I am beyond disappointed. This is a YouTube video, not fucking sorcery, you gullible fool. The great news I want to share with you is that Tampa's newest and already most hated villain has actually been identified and caught. Right before Hurricane Milton was scheduled to slam into Tampa, a patrol officer noticed a dog chained to a fence in very high water. Everyone wanted to know who was the owner. What irredeemable piece of shit could do this to their pet? The idea was for the dog to die in the hurricane because the owner didn't want the dog anymore, clearly. This became such a huge story, not only online, but locally, that my mom actually called me just to vent her frustration after seeing that video. The video was massive, and it became like a real-life Yu Yu Hakusho chapter black tape, where seeing it immediately sent you into a frenzy and made you hate the owner of this dog. He immediately just became public enemy number one. Like fucking Cobra Commander, and everyone was trying to hunt them down for how cruel this was.
On Trooper, who was found abandoned along I-75 in Hillsborough County. That was the day Hurricane Milton made landfall.
As Hurricane Milton was barreling toward our state, this dog was left to fend for itself in Hillsborough County.
It's okay. It's okay. It's okay.
Florida Highway Patrol troopers found the dog standing in water up to its chest after a Good Samaritan spotted the furry friend tied to a pole on I-75 near Bruce B. Downs Boulevard.
This is a video that infuriates pretty much anyone that sees it, for good reason. I thought there was no chance that the owner would ever be identified or anything like that, because this is not uncommon. There are tons of subhuman worms that do this all the time to pets they no longer want. But in this case, it became so big that it seems they put a lot of resources behind finding the owner here and bringing them to justice.
And so Trooper Morales rescued this dog.
Lopez tells us 23-year-old Giovanni Aldama Garcia has now been charged with aggravated animal cruelty. She says Garcia told investigators he was driving to Georgia to escape the hurricane, but left his dog on the side of the road because he couldn't find anyone to pick the dog up.
Goofball rolled a nat 1 on the persuasion check. That's a stupid reason. There were a million other things you could have done besides just leave the dog to die. And in fact, he did more than that. It's not like he just pulled over and let the dog out, which would have been horrible. He went the extra mile into being exceptionally evil by making the decision to tie the dog to that fence, ensuring it would die in the hurricane because it would have no way of escaping. This asshole had to waddle through like shin-high water himself in order to tie the dog to that pole. He really wanted it to die. This isn't like the matter of, oh, I was out of options, so I had to tie my dog to a fucking fence in the middle of a hurricane in order to keep myself safe on this journey to Georgia. Like, it's not like you couldn't take the dog with you. You were actively traveling with it in your car until you just threw your hands up, I guess, saying fiddlesticks, and then pulled over to tie the dog to the fence. I guess you needed to make room in your car for more Galaxy gas and Fent, you brain rot loser. Like, this is so unbelievably cruel, and there's no justifying it at all. There is no reason he could possibly give to try and make this not an awful, awful, terrible thing that he has done.
He did admit to being the dog's owner and admitted to wanting to get rid of this dog and had been making efforts to get rid of this dog for several weeks or months even before the storm. And this was his way to do it.
In the days following the dog's rescue, rumors circulated on social media that Trooper had been returned to its owner. However, the Leon County Humane Society wrote on Facebook that that never happened.
That's so crazy to me that apparently he was trying to get rid of this dog for quite a long period of time and then decided, Eureka, this is the moment. Hurricane Milton can kill it. Finally, the Lord has answered my prayers. A natural disaster to kill my dog. What kind of psychopath? It blows my mind that someone like this exists. Like that is a testament to how far technology and science has come, because this guy 100% would have died fucking 10 years ago trying to investigate bear shit to see if it tasted good, and he would have just been mauled to death in a jungle, and we would have never been cursed to be burdened with his stupidity. Like, it is so fucking shocking that someone this dumb and this dangerously stupid and evil has made it this far.
Since then, the Leon County Humane Society has received hundreds of inquiries about the dog. Meanwhile, Lopez says some crimes can be enhanced to more serious ones if they're committed during a state of emergency. Animal cruelty is not one of them.
It has not been enhanced because we don't have the ability to do that, but the folks in Tallahassee do.
In Tampa, Ariel Placencia, Fox 13 News.
I've said this for years, and I will keep saying it for years to come. Animal cruelty charges need to carry harsher penalties. They need to have more severe consequences.
There are an infinite number of studies that have been conducted that prove beyond a shadow of a doubt a very strong correlation between people that hurt animals and people that hurt human beings. I'm sure all of you already know this, but it's important to remember that one of the earliest signs of psychopathy in human beings is animal cruelty, like a kid hurting the family pet, or skinning a stray cat, or gutting a squirrel, that kind of shit. Like, it is indicative of someone that could be a danger to society. Someone that would do something like this, tying a dog to a fence during a hurricane to ensure it dies a painful, agonizing death. Like, I understand he is facing repercussions, which is great. I think it's a maximum of 5 years. I don't know if he'll actually get 5 years. I imagine he probably will not, but I think he should get the maximum possible sentence, and it should be a very harsh and severe sentence. I have said that for so long, and I will continue to say that for so long. Animal cruelty charges need to be taken much more seriously than they are. But I know I'm getting heated. The reason I'm calling this great news is because not only is the dog okay and most likely going to find its forever home after all of this, but they caught the guy. Which I don't know how they did that. I appreciate that they took the time and effort to do that. I have no clue how they pulled that shit off, though. That blows my mind. Like I said, this kind of thing does happen a lot, unfortunately, for pieces of shit that just don't want their dog anymore. I don't know how they tracked him down. I guess they must have had like some maybe like traffic cams that they started to like piece together a timeline, and they figured out who it was based on that. Maybe the sheriff's department's got Cerebro in their headquarters and they were able to fucking jack into the mainframe here and piece the whole puzzle together. I have no clue, but they did it. They did catch the guy, which is great. So I just wanted to share this good news. This is a story that I know a lot of you have probably seen because it was so big and so sad and frustrating, and it has a happy ending. So that's good. Yeah, that's really about it. See ya. 2022's finishing off with a bang. Just a wild finale to this year. They've set off the fireworks a little early before New Year's because a fat load of goofiness was just dumped on us like a filthy, stinky golden shower. We received a delivery for a package of drama that not many people ordered or expected. So I just wanted to do like a little ESPN halftime show and just kind of give everyone the update on where everything's at, because so much has happened all at once in just the last 24 hours. It's hard to keep track of. So I'm just going to be here as like your navigator on the ship. The first and obviously largest topic to begin with is the Andrew Tate situation, with him and his brother Tristan being arrested in Romania on human trafficking charges. At least that's what was initially reported by every major outlet ever. However, this has been developing in a very interesting way. It's like diarrhea in a swimming pool. The water's getting messy, because it started circulating on Twitter that he wasn't arrested on human trafficking charges. It was money laundering and not human trafficking. The genesis of this claim started from an account called Rap TV, which I'm not super familiar with, but from everything I can read, they're not like the end-all be-all of truth tellers, but they made a post claiming that human trafficking charges against the Tate brothers were bogus. It was actually them being apprehended for money laundering suspicion. However, that tweet's now been deleted. And while they've deleted that tweet, this one still remains on their account about it being an alleged human trafficking probe. So to me, that says that they must have got word, like officially, that it wasn't money laundering. However, that narrative still exists on Twitter and has led to massive debates about what's the truth behind their arrest. I haven't seen a single major outlet run with this narrative other than a couple of random accounts on Twitter. Not even like news accounts or anything like that, just actual random individuals running with it, even though that tweet has now been backpedaled. Every major outlet that's covering the case hasn't mentioned money laundering a single time, which I suppose you could write off as a big conspiracy to keep the truth under wraps, I guess, but most of them are just focusing on what the prosecutors are claiming to have found, with like 6 women who had been sexually exploited. These are big claims and obviously nothing's proven yet, so we're gonna have to wait to see how this case plays out, which is exactly what I said in the last video as well. It's not some kind of done deal. This is a big investigation that's been ongoing for some time, so we're gonna have to see how everything turns out. Now, I also do take a lot of information from outlets with a grain of salt.
as everyone should. However, when every major outlet, including official sources involved in the case, as well as video evidence of the arrest and everything is coming out, it's no longer just a rumor and potential fake news. There's clearly something going on here. So the reason why I'm mentioning that right now is because this really exploded this morning when Andrew Tate on Twitter made a statement of his own. He tweeted, "The Matrix sent their agents." And this led people to believe that it was all a hoax from the beginning. He's clearly free now, thus all of this was a bunch of baloney. But that's not the case because he was only being detained for 24 hours from the start. It's been 24 hours, thus they let him go, like a fish back into the water. Like he's home, he can tweet, he could even make another video smoking a cigar if he wanted to. But it's not because he's free from the investigation or anything. He's just free from the holding period. From everything I have read and from everything I've seen from the sources, like the real sources, like the officials, he is still being investigated on the human trafficking charges, and they're currently trying to lobby for a 30-day extension on his detainment period while they continue to investigate. So he is able to tweet, talk, and do everything he'd like to do now, but that doesn't mean that proves his innocence. They let him go because of that, at least not in anything I've read so far. Now maybe that changes in the next couple hours, it's very possible. But like I mentioned on stream as well, I am not surprised that he is not being held in prison for the duration of this investigation. Him being released on bail, I could absolutely see being a permanent thing throughout the entire investigation and being able to do what he wants online. Like, that's not surprising in the slightest. But it makes no sense, like a ton of takes I saw on Twitter this morning about like how my video is now completely incorrect because Andrew Tate is home tweeting. No, it's not. Everything I said isn't invalidated by the fact that he is past the 24-hour detainment period. That was always going to happen. That doesn't disprove anything. Everything about like the claims and all of that are still there and the investigation is ongoing. He is just able to tweet and do what he wants now because of the detainment period expiring. Like, it's just delusional to say that now it was all just rumors being spread. I make you feel real fucking silly now, Charlie. No, I was reporting on all of the facts that were presented from the video of the arrest, from all of the claims made by the prosecutors and everything going on there. I was talking about those and even mentioning we're going to have to wait to see how everything wraps up. And now we've had a more recent development with what's going on in the investigation, and now he's past the detainment period. So maybe Andrew Tate will even make a public statement about all of this and give more insight into what's happening. Like, this is not something that's surprising or unexpected. And it doesn't all of a sudden magically make everything I said in the last video wrong, because all of those facts are still currently facts, unless that gets overturned in the next few hours, which again, it could happen. It's very possible. I'm not denying that. I'm not there. I don't have a secret camera installed in Andrew Tate's home. I don't know what the truth is. I'm learning the same as everyone else. That pizza box theory had a lot of weight behind it with where that source came from making the claim. So that one is still currently intact as well, and a lot of people are harping on that, like, how could you ever believe it was the pizza box? Well, because they even said it in like their initial reports, like that is still there, which it could be overturned. All of it could be as it develops. So we're going to wait and see. I'm just talking about all of the information that's available and what's going on. So yeah, just wanted to clear that up. And I know a lot of people have been stressing about this with Andrew Tate and his brother being arrested. So you probably had a difficult time sleeping. And maybe it's because of the stress, and maybe your mattress just isn't that great. So I'd like to thank Helix, the sponsor for today's video, because maybe it'll help you get some sleep in such troubling times. Big thanks to Helix for sponsoring today's video. Helix makes premium quality mattresses that are conveniently shipped to your door and perfectly match your sleeping needs. They have a Helix sleep quiz which will match you to the perfect mattress based on your body type and sleep preferences. So if you want something more firm or something a little softer, it'll find that out in the sleep quiz and match you with the perfect mattress to accompany that. So I've had a Helix mattress for about 2 years now, and it's still the perfect fit for my body type. It's not super firm and it's not super soft. It's in that nice limbo in between, and it's still a comfort level I haven't seen in other mattresses since. It was a super quick and easy process to fill out the quiz and get that mattress, and I absolutely think it was 100% worth it. It was also just super easy to get it all together since it was shipped right to the door. It comes rolled up in a box, you just unroll it, and then you're pretty much set to go. And there's even a 100-night sleep trial that lets you test the mattress to ensure that you love it. And if you don't, no problem. Helix mattresses include a 10-year warranty, and they offer financing options for flexible payment plans. So if you're interested in getting a premium mattress to match your body type, make sure to go to helixsleep.com/moist to get up to $200 off plus 2 free pillows. Next up is Logan Paul once again making a fool out of himself. He posted this picture on Twitter, I guess as a little prelude to his upcoming response to the CoffeeZilla video series that exposed him for a massive crypto scam called Crypto0. He's been teasing that he's going to respond to it on January 3rd, and then he dropped this little nugget of cringe on Twitter today. He's cosplaying as CoffeeZilla with his standard attire, and the caption is just coffee and cap emoji. So I'm led to believe, as are most people, that what he's doing is a satirical investigation on himself, where he's going to be diving deep into Crypto0 and everything that happened there. And I imagine the shocking revelation from his investigation will be that he's innocent. Logan Paul investigated himself and found out that it was actually everyone around him that was evil, not him. He's the good guy. Logan Paul has cleared himself of all charges. He is innocent on all accounts. Like I said in the initial video, I really am excited to see his side of things. He's maintained that CoffeeZilla got it wrong, so I'm really excited to see from his perspective. You know, I'm pumping my fist to watch Ace Attorney Paul get out there and set the record straight and present his evidence from his side. If I had to take a guess at how he's going to work this case, I imagine he is going to focus very heavily on Eddie and Jake the Crypto King. I'm not going to get too deep into this because maybe some of you aren't familiar with the Crypto0 scam that Logan Paul was exposed for, so I won't get into the weeds of it, but I imagine he is going to drill heavily on those two characters as bad actors while downplaying his involvement with the project, even though he was the face of it and the one that actually put it on the map promoting it. So I feel like he is going to really laser focus on those two being bad, and once again, everyone involved in Crypto0 was a scammer, so they're all bad. But he's going to really minimize his involvement in the entire project and just focus on the other people that were also bad. That's what I think will result from the investigation, but I am super open to be proven wrong. I just wanted to put my prediction out here just in case it happens to be accurate, because then it looks really cool. But I am a little pessimistic about how this is going to play out for him, because he doubled down on the cringe by posting this video, or this picture, as a reply, which is just a picture of a broken coffee mug with coffee on the floor. That is so lame. I really hope this is just a stock photo and he didn't set this up for a photo shoot, because that is embarrassing. Now, the next crazy topic that's happened over the last 24 hours is YouTube secretly rolling out a huge policy change, like an absolutely massive change to the platform that overnight demonetized tons and tons of channels. Like entire channels being demonetized, very popular channels losing monetization on like half of their catalog of videos. It's a big change that YouTube didn't publicize, so no one saw it coming. It snuck up and surprised everybody. It's a change to their policy in regards to profanity and in regards to like violent gaming content or anything involving violence, even like in its in animated forms and shit too. So I actually won't talk about it too deep right now because I made an entire video going over the entire subject because there's so many moving parts to it. So I'll post that later on tonight. This next topic actually isn't super new, at least not in regards to the other ones here. It's not something that's happened over the last 24 hours, but it's still one I want to talk about because it's just a trend that continues to infuriate me and a lot of other people as well. The Last of Us showrunner is once again doing the standard thing of belittling the games that they're adapting for the show. This is a terrible strategy that's been used by many shows that have come before Last of Us, most notably and most disgustingly by the Halo TV show, where the creators proudly proclaim that they never played the games and had no interest in playing the games, which is what the fucking franchise was based off of in the first place. It's just this continued trend of shitting on the games and making it seem like you actually don't care about that at all. Like, what is the point? Why make an enemy out of the fans of the property you're adapting? It is just so nonsensical. It's fucking lunacy. I don't get it, and they continue to do it. Just loving the smell of their own farts so much that their entertainment medium is so much better than video games. In video games, it's just pixels that are dying. In TV, it's people pretending to die. It's so much more highbrow than your lame-ass games. We're doing you a favor by adapting that trash into our HBO Last of Us show. Here's his whole statement, and I don't even disagree with it. It's not incorrect. It's just useless to say because this comes across as you not respecting the game you're adapting. When you're playing a section, you're killing people, and when you die, you get sent back to a checkpoint, all the people are back moving around in the same way. Watching a person die, I think, ought to be much different than watching pixels die. Yeah, I mean, it should be different. But why say it this way? But when you say watching pixels die and like downplaying the emotional impact the game can have on someone and just reducing it to just pixels on a screen, you're clearly showing some kind of bias towards not really liking the game itself. You could have said this same message very differently. Oh, in The Last of Us, Death was always very emotional and did a great job in the medium, and we're hoping we can take that same energy and deliver that same emotion in our field. We're hoping with our show we can faithfully adapt the video game characters into the real world, and it's going to be a little different because now it's human beings you're seeing here, but hopefully it can still hit the same emotional beats the game did. Like, you're saying the same thing, but in a very different way. It's very clear that you are showing a lot of respect to the source material that you're adapting. I was very optimistic for the Last of Us TV show, because for me it sounds like something you can't really fuck up, since it's such a clear roadmap to follow. It's just like there's very little wiggle room to ruin it. But now, after reading this statement, I have to scratch my head and get a little curious. Well, how much did they play the game, and do they even like the game they're adapting? Because it seems like time and time again, studios pass off these adaptations to departments and people that don't even play or like the property that they're adapting. So why the fuck do they keep getting the projects? But yeah, that was really the last big topic that's happened recently that I thought was important, just to get the cliff notes out here about what's going on. A lot of these stories are still developing, obviously, so I'm very curious to see where all of these end up once they reach their conclusions. And that's about it. So yeah.
Good morning, butterflies. It's me, your fairy godfather, Charles. And I'm here to grant you a special wish. And that wish I know you just made was for knowledge. So I will go ahead and pollinate you with my sweet nectar of knowledge. The situation I covered a couple days ago with the individual who was driving with a suspended license on a Zoom court hearing about his suspended license actually has some huge twists and turns here that not even the Game of Thrones showrunners could have figured out to subvert our expectations. The whole galaxy, but especially the Michigan Secretary of State's office, owe this man a huge, sincere apology. Addressing the elephant in my ass, yes, I am still not home. I am still in front of this SpongeBob title card of a background behind me, but it's very funky and I appreciate that. I'm still on the run. I publicly said My Hero Academia fell off and I haven't been safe since. So, anyway, for those of you that are unfamiliar with this whole case, I'll drop the lore for you. An individual named Corey Harris went viral for this Zoom court hearing where this happened.
Mr. Harris, are you driving?
Actually, I'm pulling into my doctor's office, actually. So just give me 1 second. I'm parking right now.
Wait. Okay. So maybe I don't understand something. This is a driving while license suspended,
That is correct, Your Honor.
and he was just driving, and he didn't have a license.
An iconic moment in legal history that will no doubt be studied by the best and brightest minds in the field for eons to come. A perplexing case. Now, all of humanity was clowning on this. I made a video talking about this briefly and then going over some other really classic Zoom court moments. Because it's just so silly. Like, to go to the Zoom court hearing while driving with a suspended license, it's kind of a fucking power move, actually. Like, that's a statement right there. The only thing that could have made that any better is if he was puffing on a cigar while drifting around. I've really got this as like a cheesy action movie in my head right now where he's the main character. And then he gets out of the car and he pushes away on a skateboard and hits a kickflip or something on the way out and tells the judge to pipe down. He's got more important things to take care of. But it turns out, like a transformer, there was more than meets the eye here. So while he may have been driving with a suspended license on paper, it turns out that wasn't the reality of the situation. It was actually a clerical error. It is true that his license was suspended in 2010, however, it was rescinded in 2022. So what happened is, due to this error in the internal combustion engine that is our beyond dog shit legal process, that information never made it through the proper channels. So he should have been totally green light to drive. You can take the license away from the man, but you can't take the man away from the license. It's the same thing. I just said the same thing in a different way. That's definitely not how that's supposed to work, like the expression. Point is, it's not like when they took away his license, it was like the Space Jam basketball taking away his like ability to drive. He still had the capability of driving, just not the legal authority to do so. But in 2022, he did get that granted back to him, or at least he should have. But apparently the soulless husks at the Michigan Secretary of State's office never received the clearance from the Saginaw Friend of the Court. I hate that title, by the way, Friend of the Court. That shit sounds so childish. Makes me feel like I'm reading a Dr. Seuss book. Yes, this is the Michigan Secretary of State's office requesting thumbs up from the Blorbus County Super Buddies. Looking for big pats on the head, please, nuzzles you. I don't know, I hate that. Just friend of the court sounds so stupid for like an actual legal thing. So because the Michigan Secretary of State's office never got that clearance, the lifting of the suspension never went into effect, so the judge was working off the paperwork that was incorrect, stating that his license was still suspended when, in reality, it was not. They tracked down the clerical error and it has been rectified. However, Harris did spend 2 days in jail. And he made this statement saying, "With the type of ties that I have with the church and the community, it's very embarrassing." Which I completely understand, and this whole thing is turbo dog shit. It's more than just like blushing of the cheeks, like embarrassing, you know, it's not like his voice cracked while asking someone on a date or something. Like, this is pretty serious. It's unjust what happened to him. Please ignore the Ford ad. They break up every 3 sentences in this article with an ad. I've now sworn that I will never buy a single product that advertises on any mainstream news outlet because of these intrusive fucking abominable ads. But this is the explanation. So a legal deputy, the deputy legal director for the Michigan Secretary of State told the station that the process to get a driver's license reinstated can be a complicated process. Sometimes it's as simple as, we at the Secretary of State's office did not get a clearance from the court that everything was done, but something happened in the wires and we needed to talk to the court to get the clearance and clean it up for the resident. Which they didn't do until he had already been in jail for 2 days. So, like, he still suffered from this, and I think he should be compensated for that. He didn't do anything wrong, but he had no way of knowing that or knowing how to properly correct this. In an interview that he gave after the dust had settled with all of this hoopla, he did mention that his license was supposed to be fixed 2 years ago, but it just didn't. So he was aware that there was something definitely awry here, something was wrong, but he didn't really know what to do about that. So he still ended up, turning himself in and all of that. And then in the interview, he did mention at the end, always double check the workers because they say they're going to do something and they just don't. He's 100% right about that. When you deal with anyone in any kind of government position, it seems like they view it as a shameful thing to do their job. Like, they seem to want to do everything but what they're supposed to, which really hurts just normal, average people. And also, no one watching what happened had any way of knowing that either. Since this story came out with this update here, people have been mad at me saying, like, oh, how could you have fucking slandered this man? You should have really looked into this a little bit deeper so you would have known he was innocent from the start. Brother, look around. What the fuck are you talking about? How would I have gotten that information unless I was fucking auditing them? Like the goddamn, what was it, the Saginaw Friend of the Court? Like the Michigan Secretary of State's office? What am I supposed to do? Like march on over, kick the doors in and say, everyone, hands up. I'm going to need to see all your paperwork here. I saw this silly clip online. I need to verify the authenticity of the driving without a license charges. Give me everything you've got. I got a fucking warrant here for all of it. So, come on. Like, there's not an amount of research anyone could have done to find that information. They had to track down the clerical error on their side. There is nothing
some fucking bumbling reptile brain idiot like me could possibly do to get that information, because it is not available unless you literally work there and investigated it. I do think some of the records with the suspension and then like the rescinding of it are publicly accessible documents you can have access to, but it's still not something that you as just like the average dick in hand Joe Schmo can do to connect the dots on why those wouldn't match up, like why this paperwork didn't make it through the whole process, what the hang up was. Like, that's not something that you can track from the outside, I don't believe. So I'm definitely sorry, and I'm super sorry that this happened to him in the first place, because again, he did nothing wrong. He was completely blameless for the driving with a suspended license charges here. Like, the biggest apology of all should come from those authorities there, but there's not going to be any repercussions there. They're just going to throw their hands up and go, whoops, clerical error. Gee whiz, sorry, bud. And that'll be the extent of that. They'll just wash their hands of it and be done with it, close the book, and nothing more will come from it. And it's a real fucking shame. They never face any real repercussions for fucking people in the face like this, and it sucks. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe something comes from this. Maybe there's some kind of internal change where this kind of thing won't happen as often in the future. Doubtful, but who knows. Anyway, though, I feel terrible for Mr. Harrison. What he went through here, he did not deserve it at all. That's about it. See ya. If human beings continue to evolve for the next billion years, I'm confident that we will never see a specimen more pathetic than Johnny Somali. It's almost impressive how unlikable he is. He is a miracle of everything going wrong in a human being. He is the apotheosis of cringe. And he's just been arrested again in Korea. While he is already actively facing charges, some of which he's already pled guilty to, that carry 5 to 10 years in Korean prison, he is still going on stream and doing his best to get more charges added on top of it, even just basically saying that his whole goal is to just keep getting arrested on stream, and he does it all for $5 donations. But I think the money isn't the driving factor for him. He does it for the love of the sport, just to continue to get arrested and humiliated. That is Johnny Somali's purpose in life. He is a punching bag who goes on a global tour of getting his ass beaten by all of the citizens of the countries he starts streaming in. And now in Korea, his goal is to get his ass beat in Korean prison for the next 10 or so years, it seems. He is going on stream with the sole purpose of doing illegal things to keep getting arrested in Korea. It's fascinating. He treats crimes like Pokemon cards and he wants to collect them all. He is doing everything he can to break as many laws as he can while he is still in the middle of all of the other charges he was facing before this. It's intriguing. Huge Johnny Somali update. I just watched the Atozi video on it. He just got arrested again in Korea, but they let him go. I am so glued to the Johnny Somali case. He is a fascinating lolcow. And while I've been optimistic that Korea is going to actually just skullfuck him with all of the charges he is gathering, like he is gathering them like the Dragon Balls right now. And right now all of our wishes are trying to be granted with like a long prison stay. But in the meantime, while he's still in these active cases, he gets to go home in Korea and stream. So his content has become people giving him $5 for him to go get himself arrested. So he continues to just keep adding more and more and more and more and more charges to it. So last night, here, I'll just play some of the Atozi video.
Prank called the police, then said if he got enough donations, he was going to run out and get arrested on the street. And that's exactly what happened.
It's so beautiful. For $5, this guy will run out and get himself arrested while he is currently facing other charges that are carrying a minimum, or between 5 to 10 years, without all of the other charges he's getting on top of it. I don't know how he still is able to do this. I don't get it. Of course, I'm not a Korean judge. In fact, I'm not even a Korean. But how in the world can this guy who is making a mockery out of not only the legal system, but the entire area, still be able to keep doing this? He's doing it on purpose too, and he knows that. It just blows my mind. He is actively still fighting the... Well, not even fighting, he pled guilty to charges that are carrying many years of jail time.
Right now, I swear to God, look at the upstairs. I'm calling the cops right now on the watch. I'm calling the cops right now.
Oh, he's so bad. He's so naughty.
So he wanted
No,
someone
don't
to
do that,
donate for
Johnny.
him to prank
Oh my
call the
God, that's
police.
crazy.
Then someone donated $5, and that's exactly what he did.
Let me see the bread. Oh! And listen, are you police? Are you police?
Yes, police.
Police?
Yes.
You know my name? My name is Johnny Somali.
Johnny Somali?
Are you song for police?
Police emergency call 112. Do you need help in police?
Korean emergency 112?
Yes.
Oh my God, I'm so sorry. Accident, I'm sorry.
That's the whole prank call for $5. Oh, he does it a few times though.
Right hello. Hello. You know me, Johnny Somali.
Yeah.
Johnny Somali?
Somalia?
Johnny Somali.
It's crazy what he'll do for $5. I actually believe you could pay him $10 not only to suck your dick, but like actually suck a fart out of your butt. He will do anything for just like a couple of dollars. Like $5. Think about that. There is so little you can the purchasing power of $5 is less than like spit. You can't even buy a full fast food meal for $5 anymore. And yet he's willing to get more charges on top of his charges that he has already pled guilty to for that. If you gave him $100, he would probably throw himself in front of a train if you asked him to. The man is just another level of degenerate.
Oh no, we're going to jail.
I guess that last comment right there was for seeing something.
Call the police. Call the police.
So he just walks around annoying as many people as he can find. Then he does like a little dance here. Where's his dance? Here it is.
Let's go, Korea! Korea #1! Yeah!
What an unfortunate build. Nobody chooses this body type in video games. That is so rough. So he goes around, does this for a while. Eventually, the cops show up and they arrest him.
We live, shoutoutparty.com. Come, I'll give you my passport. Come.
He looks like a Titan. He actually does look like that Titan that runs around like this.
Relax.
Go on, take a video.
This is not what you want the judge.
So he gets arrested, but they let him go. Again. I don't get it. So I'm starting to lose faith that Korea's actually going to lock him away for any length of time. I think maybe, and this could be cope, they're letting him continue to do these things so that he gets more charges, so they have more grounds to lock him away for longer than the 10 years he's already facing. But even then, I just don't think that's a great strategy. He is actively doing this on purpose to rub it in the Korean government's face. Why let him continue that? He doesn't get detained or anything. How much do you think he makes per stream? No Way Party has ads, so it's all donations. My prediction is maybe $100 a stream. So I skimmed through his stream a little bit. He makes less than $100, at least of all the content I've seen. Because keep in mind, every prank call he does here is $5. And he only did, I think it was three or four prank calls to the police. And then he ran around half naked, looking like an absolute abomination. An amorphous blob. So like, that's not a lot. He gets $20 for that. How can he afford to keep doing this shit? Isn't travel expensive? He can't leave. He literally cannot leave Korea right now because he is a criminal and he is facing a lot of charges. He, again, just to refresh your memory, he has already pled guilty to charges that carry 5 to 10 years in jail. So he can't leave the country, but he's also not in jail right now, so he just gets to go home, drink himself to death on stream, and then get himself arrested time and time again. 5 USD is 73.38 Korean won. USD worth more in Korea, so it might actually work out for him. I guess until he actually goes to jail, which he's coming to terms with now. Like, he himself is starting to be Like, this is like when you're a child and you first start gaining sentience, right? Like, you're just sitting there with, like, a fucking chicken tender in your hand, and then one day it kicks in and, like, oh, I'm thinking. Like, I'm conscious. That's happening to him, that he's realizing he's not going to have freedom again. But yeah, that's the Johnny Somali update. I am glued to it. And I gotta be honest, the plot twists have me starting to question if he's even actually going to go to jail. The fact they just let him go during all of this is crazy to me. They might deport him instead of paying to jail him. And that would be the saddest ending if they do just deport him like everywhere else has. Like, I don't know why no one will just step up and actually punish him. I don't get it. I really don't. It's so fucking frustrating. I'm praying Korea's the heroes we need when it comes to Johnny Somali. I'll look that up. Someone mentioned it earlier. Apparently the creator of Mighty Magiswords on Cartoon Network got busted for child porn. I don't know that series. Mighty Magiswords? I've never seen this or even heard of it. Came out in 2015, ended in 2019. Kyle Carrozza, arrested on CP possession charges. What is this last statement? I'm a little confused. The crimes he is accused of do not apply to drawings, figurines, statues, or films rated by the Motion Picture Association. Well, no shit, I don't think the Motion Pictures Association is rating child porn. Like, wait, what does this mean? Am I stupid? Why can't I parse what that means? Oh my god. I totally forgot because I switched from... I am so sorry. Because I switched the source from display to window, it doesn't follow when I do a new window. That is entirely my bad. Sorry, sports fans. Here, jump scare, Kyle Carrozza. Sorry, my bad. I just sat here fucking reading this like a stupid goober. Mighty Magiswords was a Kyle Carrozza's show, but had worked as a board... I'm just gonna have to reread all of it, I guess, now. But had worked as a board artist on a lot of big shows here. What I was saying, though, now that we're all here together, this last line is very confusing. So it's talking about how it can be charged as a misdemeanor, felony, punishable up to 1 year in county jail or 5 in state prison. If found guilty of either charge, Carrozza will be ordered to register as a sex offender. The crimes he is accused of do not apply to drawings, figurines, statues, or films rated by the Motion Picture Association. So what I was saying is I don't really understand what that means, because obviously the Motion Picture Association is not rating child porn. Like, there's not going to be a Rotten Tomatoes for it from them. Like, what am I not understanding about that? I'm pretty sure it just means this wasn't, like, lolly hentai. It was actual legit CP. Okay. I feel like there was a better way to say that. Like, I feel like there had to be a better way of getting that point across. He worked on 124 episodes of Adventure Time as a board artist. They mainly talked about his credits with, like, Fairly Odd Parents, Casa Grande, Animaniacs, Snoopy, Doc McStuffins, whatever the fuck that is, Fishhook. Looks like Cartoon Network can't clown on Nickelodeon for having predators anymore. Cartoon Network can't clown on anyone, they're closed. What do you mean? Wait, was Cartoon Network actively doing that, like in their marketing material? Yeah, Nickelodeon's got SpongeBob, and also some predators, not like Cartoon Network. Were they taking shots somewhere? Where was that? Oh, apparently they're not actually getting shut down. Wait a minute. That was still just an unsubstantiated rumor, apparently. They are still going to continue with original programming. It's just that they had huge layoffs. What's your stance on separating art from artist? I've said this 100 times now. I used to firmly believe that you can separate art from the artist until Ian Watkins, lead singer of the Lost Prophets. They were once my favorite band. I even had them as my website background music that would play when you visited my Pixo site called coldflames.pixo. I was a huge Lost Prophets fan. Ian Watkins turned out to be a massive pedophile, an actual baby raper, and once all of his crimes made it to the public eye, I could no longer listen to that music. It was impossible. Especially because one of the songs that Ian Watkins made with Lost Prophets was literally him subtly bragging about being a pedophile in the music. When you look back on it, knowing what he was doing. So, I used to believe you can separate art from artist. I don't think you can do that, or I don't believe that that's possible in certain circumstances. So, like, if I was a Mighty Magiswords fan, I probably couldn't watch it anymore because of this. Would you watch a Kevin Spacey movie? Yeah, I don't think I could do it for Kevin Spacey either. But the difference about Kevin Spacey is he's a part of a movie, whereas Lost Prophets, again, for example, he is the music. He wrote the lyrics, helped compose the music. Whereas Kevin Spacey, he's just like a small component of an overall bigger product. You know what I mean? So maybe I could do it for Spacey. But I haven't seen a Kevin Spacey movie since the allegations. But for this show, couldn't you make the argument this guy's cartoon had multiple writers? Yeah, but this is still his vision. This is still like his voice. Like I can watch Adventure Time. If he was a board artist for Adventure Time, I can still watch Adventure Time and not feel like weird about it. Like I don't think that's gonna ruin Adventure Time for me or anything. But if I was a fan of this show, I don't think so. Yeah, it's actually crazy how Kyle Carrozza actually looks like that quintessential, like, Predator image. I actually thought this was a joke. Hold on, it still might be. I don't know cartoonbrew.com. This still might not actually be what he looks like. Let me see. Because it looks too much like the stereotypical Predator. Let me see. Nope, that is just straight up what he looks like, huh? Yep. Yep. Oh, yikes. That looks like if you typed in, like, Predator into Chat GPT and, like, made sure to take out the movies from it, like the Predator movies, and just said, like, Child Predator or something, this would be the image it spits out. Are you able to separate art from artist with Rurouni Kenshin? No, Rurouni Kenshin is ruined for me. Yeah, I can never watch or read Rurouni Kenshin. What's even... Oh, wow, two people just asked that at the same time. What's even more deplorable about Rurouni Kenshin is that the wider anime community, like the manga community, forgave him for it, and overall got off with a very slight slap on the wrist. So no, I absolutely cannot read, watch, or appreciate Rurouni Kenshin at all anymore, and I used to love that show growing up. They used to come on right before Yu Yu Hakusho, I think it was, and it was fire. Used to love it. Batosai the Manslayer. Oh, it's such a shame. What happened with Rurouni Kenshin? Author's a huge pedophile. Got busted, ton of CP, but wasn't really punished for it, and a lot of manga greats actually wrote letters of endorsement, like character pieces, forgiving him and saying why it's not like a big deal. It was lunacy. This man reminds me of the fat guy from Austin Powers. Fat bastard? How? When was the last time you watched Austin Powers? What? No, man. Not really. He literally looks like if you AI generated a pedophile. I don't know where you're getting the fat bastard comparison. I even pulled him up just to double check. This is not close. This is just not close here. The only thing in common is maybe the double chin. Maybe. And the mutton chops. These aren't mutton chops. Hey, wait a minute. This is, like, neckbeard chops. Mutton chops, even on Fat Bastard, they stop at where the jaw is supposed to be. This weirdo fucking let it ride down to, like, his collarbone. He looks like that rat guy from Harry Potter. Put some fucking respect on that guy's name. Peter Pettigrew. And he kind of does, actually. I think that's a much better comparison. Here. I'll pull up Peter Pettigrew for you. Now, he's missing the chops, but I really do think you put glasses on Peter Pettigrew and now we're talking. Did you know there's an entire underground butt market where you can go to buy injections for your keister? And they're administered by people that aren't actually qualified to be giving them. They're not medical professionals. And yesterday, a mother and daughter duo got arrested for this. They travel around and give people some injections into their tuchus to try and elevate their ass game to the next level. And they would have got away with it too if it wasn't for those meddling medical license requirements. You can't really just go around giving people medical procedures unless you're qualified to do so, for the obvious reason of it's dangerous, people die from it
all the time from botched procedures. Even something as simple as getting your fucking butt cheeks blasted here with whatever substance they were administering, which they're still investigating what they're even giving them. For all we know, they could have been dishing out BBLs using fucking Play-Doh in a syringe, blasting like hamburger meat into their butt. Like, there's no telling. It could have been anything. But anyway, they made a public appearance yesterday. Right now, they're out on bail. But I'll introduce you to Goof and Goober here real quick.
Consuelo Maria Dalbo made her first appearance in a Harris County court yesterday. She faces a felony drug charge and a misdemeanor of practicing medicine without a license. Dalbo spoke with our news partners in Houston while out on bond. She says her passion is helping people and boosting their confidence.
Believe me, everything I do it with my heart. And everybody who knows me, they know me. Sometimes I do it because they really need it.
What a bunch of fish paste. What do you mean? She's making it sound like she's some kind of saint for doing this, as if it's like a required procedure that some people need but just can't afford. You and your daughter were just preying on people's insecurities to make a fat payday. You were charging thousands of dollars to show up to their residence with a mystery liquid in a syringe. That could have just been turkey gravy for all we know. No one needs an ass booster. She's trying to frame this like she was doing a good deed or a valuable service. You weren't. Unless there was someone born without butt cheeks and they can't sit down because they just slide off the chairs, or if they lay down in bed they just fucking squeak off the side or something. There's nobody in the world that needs this done. Look up the mother and daughter in Texas who got arrested for illegally giving people butt injections. Bootleg BBLs? Oh, this is 9 hours ago. Mother and daughter accused of performing illegal butt injections arrested in sting operation in Texas. That'll get you every time. Getting your BBL from Wish. Mother and daughter accused of performing illegal butt injections without any medical expertise were arrested in Texas. Consuelo Dalbo, 56, and her daughter Isabella Dalbo, 18, have been charged with practicing medicine without a license. How is that only a misdemeanor? Like, that should be so much more severe. Well, I know a misdemeanor can be pretty severe, though. I mean, that's big stuff. Practicing medicine without a license, like, come on. People die from this shit. Court documents reveal the women went to a home to perform the butt injections on a customer who was actually an undercover peace officer. And they plan to charge $6,000 for the service. Are they calling them peace officers now? Instead of police? Is this like some kind of rebrand or something? Why are they calling him a peace officer? That's some Hunger Games shit. The women apparently were not even sure what was in the injectables, described as an unlabeled brown liquid. A motion for bail written by Harris County District's Attorney Office said, "This fundamentally demonstrates how remarkably dangerous these acts were." Consuelo Dalbo allegedly provided a provided a Xanax to the prospective customer for the purpose of relaxing her before the injections began. The women were ultimately arrested separately in the sting. Authorities also confiscated bags containing the illegal injectables and medical equipment. They were accused of traveling across the country to give clients these illegal injections. The investigation into the pair was conducted by Houston Police Department's Major Offenders Division Food Drug Administration agents. What a long title. And Homeland Security. They're prohibited from practicing medicine without a license, as I think anyone in the world would be. In 2021, police said a mother and daughter duo were charged with a murder in California after they performed a botched butt injection that resulted in the October 2019 death of 26-year-old Carissa Rajpal. Police said that the mother and daughter had no medical certification. It was believed neither had any type of training. The jury found them guilty of involuntary manslaughter last month. Also in 2021, a Dallas woman was sentenced to 5 years in prison for causing a nightclub dancer's death by performing an illegal butt injection on her in Missouri in 2015. Bro, these butt injections get you every time. That's like a speed run to meet your maker. The butt has a lot of nerves and some important veins, if I remember correctly, so if it's performed badly, shit like this can happen. This can happen with any kind of procedure, though, from someone that's not actually licensed. There was a Instagram model, actually, she might have just been like a full-blown big model, I can't remember, who died after a botched knee surgery that was supposed to, like, remove a little, like, a little cartilage around her knee, because she didn't like the way her knees looked. So this can just happen anywhere, if you're being tended to by a less than qualified professional.
That's what it was. Removing fat from her knee. That's what it was. And it was a Brazilian influencer who suffered cardiac arrest after liposuction on her knee went wrong. Which is a crazy procedure to get in the first place. Removing some fat from your knee? You fucking kidding me? There was also that billionaire who died after getting a penis injection to make his dick bigger. Why a billionaire died during penis enlargement? Oh yeah. This was in 2019. There was a diamond trading billionaire. His name was Ehud R. Lanido. Are you fucking kidding me? I already turned my ad block off for you. Now you're not going to let me read the article unless I sign up for this? You've got some nerve, man. It's incredible. The gall. The state of the goddamn internet. And you're going to autoplay an ad for me? God, Jesus. What a joke. A wealthy Belgian diamond dealer has died of cardiac arrest following a cosmetic surgery in a Parisian clinic to enlarge his sex. Penoplasty is a surgical technique that dates back to 1990. Increasingly more popular, it has become a $5 billion market. What? The go-go gadget extendo dick? I just didn't think these would be popular. I actually didn't even know these existed until pretty recently. I thought that was one of those things that you just had to fucking suck up. I knew they had some procedures for micro penises, but I didn't think you could really do one on like a normal, just small one. The Belgian-Israeli diamond dealer living in the US traveled to Paris to have the operation and succumbed to it. He checked into the clinic on the 2nd of March to enlarge his sex, said one of the medical personnel. The operation turned bad and the client had a cardiac arrest. The doctors could not save his life. Well, yeah, I mean, they're dick doctors. You got the fucking penis patrol in there. What are they gonna do to try and bring him back from cardiac arrest? Shit, his heart is stopping. Jerk him off. God, 5 cc's of epinephrine right into the nutsack. Quick! That's just all the information they have about it. This is not a good... I wanted a little more info on it. This site just has like 2 paragraphs dedicated to it and then nothing but ads. It's like, yeah, this billionaire died from cock improvement procedure. But anyway, have you checked out these bikes? Did they finish the enlargement? Yeah, imagine he can feel himself fading away. He sees the light at the end of the tunnel, but he's like, no, please. Not with this sad, tiny micro. Just don't save me. Save it. Quick. God, please. Yeah, there's really just not a whole lot of info about it. This guy just died and they forgot about him. Open casket and open trousers. Yeah, imagine it's just like an open casket, but not like the actual head part. It's just like his lower body and he's nude. They all just point and laugh at him at the funeral service. Wang made a TikTok about him. He said the dude was apparently really insecure about himself, including his actual height. He was so insecure that he would have his secretary read his bank statements to make him feel better. That can't be real. That's gotta be fake. I'm feeling bad about being 5'6". Can you please pull up the bank statements, Miss Secretary? I need something to smile about. There was a story of a patient who burst into flames on the operating table. It was an issue with the O2 anesthesia and a spark. It's probably been more than 12 years now. Holy fuck, that sounds terrifying. What? Imagine you're just going in for like a routine procedure and all of a sudden you fucking combust. Oh my god. It's horrifying. Jackson just messaged me today about general anesthesia because he has to get his wisdom teeth out and they're so bad that they're actually going to put him under for it. Now he got me worried that he's just going to blow up. Turn him into a goddamn bomb. Ladies and gentlemen, I have fantastic news. No longer do we have to sleep with one eye open for fear we might get fucked in the ass while we're asleep by this diabolical criminal we're about to see. Because the Redmond police have just made the biggest police bust of 2019. Don't take my word for it. Let's go ahead and watch the action highlight reel.
What the hell?
What? We tell you to stop, you stop. That's called obstructing, everybody. Learn.
Learn.
It's black when you don't stop for the police. Jaywalking.
I swear to God, this is actual footage of a real arrest. This is not the start to a bad late 90s porno. This is as real as this shit gets. They fucking caught Cobra Commander out here. Now, in all honesty, maybe this guy did deserve to get arrested. Maybe he's a huge douchebag. I don't know who he is. He's not my dad or anything. He could have very well deserved this. But God, this is such an entertaining arrest. Let's go ahead and watch this shit again. I love how they come fucking zooming in here, and they even hit him with a stop, like in Elder Scrolls, stop, criminal scum. What I really would like, though, is maybe a theme song, perhaps, like one of them has on the back of their bike a boombox or something playing like the Dragon Ball Z intro, and when they finally catch up to their target, they hit him with like some fucking Ginyu Force poses. Stop! You've come face to face with the Danger Riders, arresting all jaywalkers and children that don't eat their vegetables. Let's go ahead and break this down a little bit. So it seems like they were engaged in a high-speed pursuit with the target when they finally caught him. It's like something right out of the fucking Power Rangers. And going by that logic, I'm sure what happened once the video turned off is Rita blasted the bad guy with a very big strongman beam, turning him into a giant kaiju where he skateboarded away. But what I wanted to talk about with just this beginning portion here is it seems like they asked him to stop, he did, and he kept skating away, so then they had to chase him down. And you know what, I'd be pretty pissed off if I was a cop in that situation too. Like, come on, I asked you to stop, I was probably just gonna tell you, hey, can you not shit your pants while jaywalking or whatever this guy was fucking doing? So honestly, I side with the police on this, but that doesn't make the arrest any less entertaining.
Learn.
It's black when you don't stop for the police. Jaywalking.
That's such a great place to end the video right there with the in-sync jaywalking. That's like right out of a fucking sitcom. All you need is the stock explosive laughter from the Fuller House series, and then bang, you got yourself a scene. Fucking great stuff, and I think the Redmond area is a lot safer now that this menace is off the streets. Fuck yeah. See ya. What's up, everybody? It's Critical. I just read an interesting news story about the Massachusetts State Police and the National Guard going to extreme lengths to take a woman's marijuana plant, single marijuana plant, one weed. And it is truly a riveting tale of bravery, valor, and cunnilingus. In a world where weeds, the pots, are making people high, and if you take a hit from a bong that has weed smoke in it, you grow ass wieners. There needs to be heroes to stop ass wieners from happening, and luckily for us, the Massachusetts State Police and the National Guard were the chosen heroes. So let's dive right into this story. There was an evil 81-year-old mastermind behind the growing of the marijuana plant, Margaret Holcomb, or should I say, Margaret Whole Fist, because she got the whole fist of the law shoved right in her cooter. She was growing it for medicinal purposes because she suffers from glaucoma and arthritis, and it helped with that. Yeah, I'm sure, Margaret, and I snort coke because it makes my scrotum smell better. This filthy scumbag was growing the devil's lettuce in the wrong part of town. According to her son, Tim Holcomb, the family was eating lunch when they heard a helicopter outside. They went out to see a military-style helicopter circling the house, as well as seeing two men in the helicopter holding a device that he suspects was a thermal imager to detect marijuana plants. What a fucking useless invention that is. A thermal imager for marijuana plants? I might as well invent something that can look for ukuleles within a 0.5 mile radius from your position. So fucking dumb. And also, why do they need a military-style helicopter for this bust? They would have done their research and surely knew that this house belonged to an 81-year-old woman. I don't know why the fuck they're busting in there like they think they're about to take down Cobra Commander. So the A-team seized the marijuana plant, and that's basically the end of the story. Once again, the day is saved thanks to the Powerpuff penises, and it's all fun and games. Oh yeah, look, they look like they were ready to go to war on this 81-year-old woman for no reason. And you know it's an entertaining story until you get to the point where it says, Holcomb said he was told that as long as he did not demand that a warrant be provided to enter the property or otherwise escalate the situation, authorities would file no criminal charges. That's fucking disturbing. Now that is something you are supposed to do. You're supposed to ask for a warrant. It is your right as a citizen. But apparently if you ask for a warrant, it is escalating the situation and could lead to criminal charges. That's fucked up. That's why people are afraid of the police. I'm not one of those fuck the police kind of people, but right there, that is why people are afraid of the police. If you do what you're supposed to do, if you exercise your rights, you can be charged as a criminal, and there's almost nothing you can do about it. But anyway, who knows what's next? Maybe they'll bulldoze through my front door in a tank because I think my oregano is weed. You know, being totally honest, I won't even put my ass in your face. If I was a police chief, if I was in command, I would do this shit all the time for the most mundane of reports. Oh, what's that? A 16-year-old was drinking a beer on the front porch of his house? Alright, I'm gonna need 3 SWAT armored vehicles, 1 Apache, and 2 wrecking balls. Let's show this hooligan that we mean business. This punk ain't gonna drink no beer underage on my fucking watch. And then I'd have us roll up with like a really cool soundtrack. I'd have like a designated guitar player like in Mad Max. I'd have like a truck and a guitar player designated that shit. Oh man, I'd go all out just for fun, just as a joke. That'd be awesome. I would go out of my way to find trivial crimes to bust. I'd just sit in front of the computer screen watching all of the traffic cams and just wait for someone to jaywalk. And then I'd go to the National Guard, I'd hit them up, be like, no, we need the Batman tumbler, I want you to get over there. And they'd fucking scoot in sideways and give him like a $3 ticket, but really intimidate him for it. Man, that shit would just be fun. Maybe that's what these people did in Massachusetts. Maybe it was just a joke at the police headquarters. Hey Eustace, you know an 81-year-old's growing weed in her backyard. How many? 1 weed. Alright, get everyone on it. Get the whole squad. We're sending the whole department at him. We're gonna hit him with the whole blitz. I'm honestly surprised they weren't deploying tear gas from the helicopter, blasting in the front door, giving the poor old lady a heart attack. What if though, in like an alternate universe, when they'd sent all of this cavalry to this 81-year-old's house, they fucking needed it. Like, she came out, guns blazing, she's got like a fucking turret, her house just transforms into this fucking fortress, and she's just fighting off the police in some type of vicious Battle of Gettysburg type of shit. Just some like real futuristic Terminator type battle. Damn, that'd be cool. But yeah, no, the story in reality was actually just kind of sad that they wasted so much money just to use all of this unnecessary force on an 81-year-old. But yeah, that's about it. So yeah, what's up everybody, it's Critical. Can't really describe the video you're about to watch very well, so let's just watch this shit.
Give him a last chance to see his dog before he ends up going to jail. Do you want to say goodbye to your dog?
Dude.
Alright.
Rascal. Love you, baby. Don't take me to jail, please.
An extremely kind gesture from the cops to let the man see his beloved animal one more time before going off to jail. However, this animal's got ice running through the veins. Rascal clearly don't love these hoes out here. This man is crying his face off, saying goodbye to Rascal and begging Rascal to get him out of the slammer. Rascal ain't even listening. He doesn't give a shit. He's just looking at the camera trying to recruit someone else. Yo, who wanna take care of me now, huh? This pussy's going. I need someone else. Just stone cold. Now I feel bad for the guy here. I don't know what crime he committed or anything since this is just the excerpt from the show. Maybe he was arrested for public urination, you know, a little Tuesday tinkling out in broad daylight and he's getting thrown in the big house for it. Or maybe like an Autobot, there's more than meets the eye here. Perhaps Rascal is truly the mastermind of whatever crime is being enforced here. Perhaps it was about to be a big bust on a meth-producing facility, and they finally got the kingpin here. They think it's, you know, Ripe Underbottom there in the back seat, that old weirdo. But really, it was Rascal who threw him under the bus. He is the meth god, the fucking Heisenberg here. Now, I know this is on TV, so there's always that good chance of this being a fake. That might not be a real dog. Instead, it might be a person in a dog suit. You know, that's definitely a possibility using a stunt double here. But I don't think it is. Like, look at the end there. The dog looks at the camera like a Looney Tune signing off after the cartoon. It's bad acting. It's like he's learned nothing from Air Bud. You don't look right at the camera. This is an untrained actor here. I think this might be a real dog. I didn't notice any glaring bad CGI or anything like that, so I think this is real authentic footage. So yeah, I just wanted to share this with all of you, and that's it. So yeah.